Should I introduce Brother
You
Greg
can.
so that you don't pounce on him right away?
Yeah, go ahead.
Brother Greg Carter, welcome to Mountain Home.
Thank you.
And where did you come to Mountain Home from?
Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Well, that's not that bad. That is a beautiful part of the country. My sister
Thank you.
used to live there, and it's. I hate to admit it, but it's even prettier than it is around here. The mountains are bigger,
There are big mountains there.
big mountains there. But you are now here as the youth minister or associate pastor.
Associate pastor,
Excuse me.
technically.
Technically, but I bet you're in charge of youth activities.
A lot of youth
A
activities.
lot of youth do you have a lot of youth activities
Youth
over at
like to
First
stay
Christian?
active. We do have. We actually in March we had a big bike trip that we took. So this is one that's already done. But we took a big bike trip to the Natchez Trace, Mississippi. 300 miles of riding. We did most of the trace. So
You did it from here?
No, we drove down to
Oh, okay.
Natchez, Mississippi, and we drove up to just across into Tennessee before we stopped. Yeah. If it ends, actually, the trace ends in Nashville,
Yeah.
but we
So
drove.
you bike as in pedal.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, this was my
Wow.
first youth event here, so they threw me right into the fire.
Did you do the biking too?
Yes, I did. I did almost
Are you a
almost all
biker?
of it.
Are
I know
you
I
a biker?
wasn't before I went, so
Yeah.
it was,
Well,
it was a
that
pretty big deal.
is. I've never heard of that. That's a wonderful event. In
Yeah,
my
that's the
opinion.
second year they've done a biking trip at
Well,
at
that's
this-
great because
at,
it
First
promotes Christian living and also healthy living.
Yeah, and the kids
which
enjoyed
is the
it.
same thing.
Kids enjoyed it a lot. So.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Well, what else is what is coming up then? Because we missed that one.
Yeah, I had to share that one because actually one of the guests that just left knew about that trip, so
Yeah.
it was
Cool.
kind of. But this Saturday, the 16th, we actually have an Easter event. It's for children in the area, and so it's for ages really, all ages really, but up to 5th grade or so. But it's going to be like a walk through Easter event. Kind of introduction to Easter, the story of Easter through. We have stations, like 6 stations set up, crafts, storytelling to tell the Easter story. There'll be a light snack, so it starts at 2 and ends at 4:30, or runs up to 4:30, and so from about 2 to 4 we're going to have the Easter event, the stations, the walk-through stations, and then at 4:30 we're going to have a Easter egg hunt. And so this will be all at the church out on 62, and so that's our next, I guess, children or youth ministry event coming up.
And that's for what ages again?
It's probably I would say let's say 4 up through 5th grade,
Four
years
through fifth
old
grade.
up through 5th grade.
So big enough to hunt Easter eggs and
Big
yeah,
enough
that's
to
still
hunt
want
Easter eggs and enjoy it, and if the bigger kids want to come, we'll let them have fun too. So as long as
Do
they
you
don't take
have
too many Easter eggs.
activities geared for teenagers specifically?
We will have more. We'll have summer camps coming up.
Okay.
Like a lot of churches do, but we will have summer camps coming up in end of May through June and right up to the beginning of July. But our major camps will be for senior high, middle school will be at the beginning of June.
Now, how long does the camp last?
The camps are a week.
A week,
Yeah.
okay. Do you have them here in town, or do you go off to a
We
camp?
actually will go off, I think, and since I'm new to the Arkansas area,
Yeah.
I might be. I think we go out to a camp out in Missouri actually. So.
But they pack up, take their sleigh. I used to
Yeah.
go to church camp when I was a kid.
it's
Yeah, that's
whole-
always a big
you
event.
go and you camp in a cabin.
Now, how long have you been here? You said a short time.
About a month and a half. So.
Wow.
I
So
brought
it was
brought my
hello, here's a
family
bike.
Yeah, just long enough to be beat up by a bicycle trip. So.
Well, very
and recover
nice.
from it. So.
Well, good. I'm glad you recovered.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So are you an original Tennessean?
From Atlanta,
Atlanta,
Georgia,
Georgia,
originally.
okay. So you're from the South. So this
Yeah.
is really nothing new.
Not
to you.
not real new, although there is a little more of a northern flair in
Yeah,
Mountain Home.
especially
Yeah.
in Mountain
Yeah.
Home.
Yeah.
There's a lot because there are a few people who live in Mountain
Yeah.
Home.
My
who are
wife's from Ohio, so she can appreciate that.
There's
She
a lot of people
appreciates
from
it.
Ohio.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
Ohioans today.
So
So you pretty well acclimated to this area now?
it's been pretty easy. It's a nice area. People are friendly. So.
Yeah, that's good.
How long have you been
That's
a
good.
minister?
I graduated from Johnson Bible College in Knoxville back in 2010. So technically,
Oh, so not really that long ago.
not really that long.
Is this your
I was
first
kind
position?
of a late bloomer, I guess you'd say, into the ministry. Late calling.
Is this your
It's
first?
my first full-time position. Yes.
Well, good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You say you had a late calling.
Yes.
What were you doing before that?
I worked as a veterinary technician actually for
Okay.
several years. That's what I did. So.
Okay. So the dogs were
familiar
okay
with
for
the
you.
big dogs. So.
Big
and the
dogs.
dog shows, all that.
And what was the turning point in your life that you thought, or actually got the call to go into the ministry?
Probably just searching. I did not have a college education when I met my wife. She encouraged. She's a nurse, and so she encouraged me to go back to school. And so I was looking, searching for what was the right thing for me to do, and it just fit who I was, and there was a heavy burden on my heart to help people and to reach out to people out there. So.
Was that always a burden in your life, or did it just develop over?
It developed late in my life, probably at the age of 30. I'm 42 now, so probably at the age of 30.
Wow, that is pretty late in your life.
Well, before that, I was. I lived in Atlanta. Let's say I just had a lot of fun, so I had a good nightlife there in Atlanta.
So in your wild oats.
Yeah, so in my wild oats for several years. So,
so are you? I guess it's more personal than anything else, but you're more at peace now than where you were at.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. The Lord has done an amazing work in my life and brought me to an amazing place and an amazing place here in this ministry.
Does that give you a sense? And a lot of people that are in a religious framework. I just lost my question, but does it bring you to a point of believing more? I know Christianity is a faith; it's based on faith. Does it? But we're always looking for the validity or the concreteness of that faith. Did it bring you closer
I think
to
the
that?
evidence. It brings the evidence into the light. I think more so. When you've experienced God's truth in your own life, and then of course you're reading it in the Word of God. You're reading what He promises to do in your life, what He promises to do in everyone's life, and then when you see the evidence of it in your own life, and Him turning you around, bringing you peace, wholeness in your own life.
Yeah. So you look at coincidental things. You don't look at them the same way.
No,
it's not a coincidence anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. I know where you're at. I see.
What are your goals for the church here in Mountain Home? What
the
would
goals,
you like to see?
Before we came here, when we lived in Chattanooga, my wife and I were actually involved in urban ministry. And so it was quite a jump to go from urban ministry to Mountain Home. So we didn't fully understand what we would be doing here. But our desire, and it's the same anywhere, is just to be really rooted in the community, to be out in the community, not just to be behind our four walls in our church, but to be out in our community. And all churches say that, and I hope that's part of the goal too, is to join with other churches and work with them in this area, and to work with the needs that they are already working on, and bring to light other needs that are out there. So,
do you have a special calling, like you said, urban, like
Well, for me, I think because of my
thing?
background, drug and alcohol is something that I experienced in my own life, and so that when I see people out there hurting from that lifestyle, I want to be there for them. I want to reach out to them. I want to show them that there's a hope. There's hope.
Okay.
Wonderful.
That someone's going to be there for them. So.
All right.
Also.
Go ahead.
I'm going to drop a couple more.
Please.
A couple more events here before I lose them in my mind here. But Holy Week's coming up next week, and we have a Monday, Thursday service. And Jim Carroll, I believe is the gentleman's name, is going to be our guest speaker out at the church, out at First Christian Church. It's going to be at 6 p.m. And he is actually going to be speaking. He's going to be doing a presentation on all the laws that were broken in order to crucify Jesus. So it's going to be an interesting it's more of a lecture, I think, that he's doing. And so that's going to be at 6 o'clock, and after that service we're going to have an open communion, and then of course Good Friday we're going to have the Ministerial Alliance, the Community Ministerial Alliance here in Mountain Homes is sponsoring a Good Friday service at our church, and that's going to be at noon. And we're hosting it, but it's the Alliance.
Community-wide.
It's a community-wide event.
And then you said you had a sunrise service on Sunday.
We will have a sunrise service as well, which is actually
typical.
sponsored by the youth of our church. So I'm getting the youth involved, and they're going to probably do some readings and things like that.
Oh, nice.
So.
Good.
Very nice.
Well, Brother Greg, welcome to the area.
Thank you.
And we, of course, we always invite you to come back if things happen in the area.
Let us know how things are going at First Christian.
Give us a report on the area. See how we're doing.
I will. I'll try not to be too critical.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, our last guest coming up
and
right
this is
away.
PBL. You said FBLA. That's high school. This is the college. Phi Beta Lambda.
Wonder why I wrote that down there. I think someone told me to write that down.
Well, it's not me. It wasn't me. I know the difference. But
I'll take the blame.
It is Nick Rice and Megan Wilcoxon. I've had Megan in class, but I had never met Nick.
But the most important thing, it's laser tag.
It's laser tag. I asked this, do people get hurt playing laser tag? I want to know. But I told them we'd just visit about it.
I think it would be a lot less painful than paintballs.
I do too, because one of my students had a big paintball bruise on her arm the other day.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll teach us how to play laser tag.
You want to find out about that?
I want to find out about laser tag.
You're going to have to wait 2 minutes because we've got to take our break.
Okay, and Dan will clap correctly next time too. Okay, take us away, Daniel.
Let's go to a break.